I really had to talk myself off the limb that my breasts do not define who I am.
Welcome to Let's Talk, ladies, conversations across generations. I'm MB Roberts, an author and journalist, and this is a podcast where we talk to women from their 20s to their 90s about a bunch of hot topics. We ask questions, share experiences, and learn from each other. And it's not just about older women giving advice. We want to know what younger women are thinking too. Today, I'm joined by co-host Katie Neal. So let's get talking. Today, we're talking about boobs. The body part, not the other kind of boobs. People, we're doing this not to be salacious or to give our listeners something to giggle about, which I already am doing, but because women's boobs are a big deal. Men are all about them. And for us girls, it's a big deal when we get them. Some of us are still waiting for that to happen, speaking for myself. And it's a big deal when we lose them. Hi, Katie.
Hello. I think boobs is just a fun word to say. I think
Isn't
that's
it?
why we're giggling. Yeah.
I know. We're not saying breasts. I mean, although we will probably through our conversation. But, although there was no way to augment your breasts going way back. I mean, way, way back. Like in the 50s, did you know that doctors would insert sponges?
Oh, God.
Into your body? Right. That was boob jobs back then. But breast enhancement wasn't really commonplace until the 80s when the technology improved. The first silicone...
I didn't know that.
Yeah, did you not? I mean, that's when the first silicone implants were introduced in way back in 1962. But here's my cultural reference, being a little older than you, Katie. There were still a lot of popular actresses in the 60s and 70s with small breasts. I mean, I remember just, they were. And but then you had your exceptions, your Marilyn Monroe, Jane Russell, back from the 60s. But then in the 80s, like everything else, boobs got big. Do you remember
goes
this?
With the decade of excess, probably,
Right, and miracle bras, and that's a little later, but that was definitely the case, and then there were some problems with silicone implants. Hematoma, where the blood collects in a swelling, was an early difficulty. You probably, as a health writer, have definitely read and heard and written about that. But then infections, you would hear of someone getting a terrible infection, or a scar would form and make the implant hard, and people would have to get it removed. So now saline is better now, isn't that right? That's my understanding, that's quote more just sort of organic to your body, safer. And anyway, regardless of the danger or the implications, breast augmentation is the second most popular cosmetic procedure. Guess what's number one?
I don't know.
Lipo.
Oh, that makes sense.
We take it away and we give it.
I guess maybe that's more quote unquote universal. I hate to say that. I would have imagined that boob jobs were number one.
Right. Really? Even now? I don't know. And personally, I mean, I'm a smaller breasted woman. I just was afraid to put something into my body like that.
Yeah.
Like,
did you ever really consider it?
No. I didn't, honestly. Like I actually,
not that I'm saying you should.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm over it. I just to put something in, like to be frank, I didn't even know I was going to say this today, but I considered lipo at one point, or would have if that were available to me financially, or just I would have taken something away before I would have put something in. I just have the kind of
that makes sense.
Body and skin that I'm the one who I'll wax my mustache and it'll scar. Like I am that chick.
You do have bad luck. You have bad luck with like chemical peels
like a
and
facial.
things like that. I forget about that.
It'll be like I'm a burn victim. So
Terrible
I just
luck,
didn't think that I would be the best candidate. But we're talking about. I mean, there's anyone who chooses to do this, I'm totally cool with it.
Oh yeah, we know people who have, and they look fantastic. They look real. They look,
And then there's women who lose their breasts to breast cancer, and I think that's the one time I would absolutely consider it
Yeah.
and probably do it.
Yes.
Breast augmentation after breast cancer. And
that's really just reconstruction. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
But you'd have them kick you up a size?
Maybe a wee bit.
Might as well.
I mean, while I'm at it.
While you're at it.
I'm going to spend all that. Get little weenie guys.
Get the ones you want.
Don't want huge ones.
Yeah.
I'm just so used to these little guys. But, breast cancer is really not to make light of this at all. It's the most common cancer in women worldwide. It accounts for 25% of all female cancers. And the highest percentage, I don't think I'm surprised by this, of women who get breast cancer are between the ages of 50 and 74.
Yeah, much more common post-menopause.
Yeah, that's right. And my mom had it and did well with her treatment.
My mom did too. They had the same kind of situation.
Right,
basically.
but same age, same kind of outcome.
Same treatment, lumpectomy, and that was about it.
Yeah, my mom did not do reconstruction. She just did a lumpectomy, and she was real.
My mom likes to say she's lopsided now,
Yeah,
They just took out a little chunk.
That's right. And both of that goes to our mom's kind of personality that they weren't going to fuss with that.
So not a big deal. We went out the day she had hers. It was outpatient, and we went out and got cupcakes later on in the day. Went to she wanted to have her coffee and went to a little cupcake shop. Probably.
Aw. Yeah, see, that's just was my mom's excuse
her not like stay in bed for 3 days.
Right.
Like, let's get on with it.
Same. My mom was the same, and I think it was just an excuse to like buy some more cute clothes.
Or new cute bras.
Right, exactly. Or skip the whole bra, which was nice for her. But so the good news is that mortality rates have been steadily declining since the late 80s.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to hear that. But there's a lot to talk about. So today we'll talk to a 64-year-old woman, my friend Ann Aromandi. And she was diagnosed with breast cancer a few years ago. And after a roller coaster ride, she's cancer-free. It's awesome.
Yay.
She has a great story to tell, a great attitude and sense of humor about it. We want to hear about her journey and how she approached her reconstruction and how it's really changed her attitude and herself. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here's Jo. Hi, Jo.
Hi, Dee. Hi, Katie.
Hello.
So glad to have you joining us. Jo is my good friend, and spoiler alert, she has a great pair of reconstructed breasts. But first, before we get started, Jo, you and I were talking about boobs, as we do, a while ago. And you referenced Notting Hill, the movie, where Julia Roberts is talking about boobs, and we actually have the clip. Her character is talking with Hugh Grant's character, and sexy in the bedroom, and anyway, here's the clip.
What is it about men and nudity, particularly breasts? How can you be so interested in them?
Well...
No, but seriously, they're just breasts. Every second person in the world has them.
Well, more than that, actually, when you think about it. Meatloaf has a very nice pair.
But they're odd-looking. They're for milk. Your mother has them. You've seen 1,000 of them. What's all the fuss about?
What is it with men and breasts?
I just don't know. But every man I have ever met is just fascinated and obsessed by them.
I don't think you're wrong. Kay, what do you think?
I mean, it's one of the great mysteries, but they absolutely are.
Yeah, I mean, and they say there's reasons like, I don't know, it's maternal, is it?
But I don't want to go there.
And you're like lusting after your mom. That's gross.
Well, yeah, I don't want to go there.
You're a former nurse, a former ER nurse. So what, from your perspective? Yeah, what do you think?
I wish I could figure it out. It's just, like I said, I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't play one on TV. But there have been two men in my life that I have to tell you, loved their women so much that they didn't care.
Yeah.
And my first experience with that was with my father. He and I were in the surgical waiting room. This was, oh my gosh, 25 years ago. And The surgeon came out and confirmed to my father that, yes, your wife has breast cancer. And my father looked at him and said, take it off.
Whatever,
right,
whatever
take care
she
of her,
needs.
right?
Yeah.
Take care of
No
her.
hesitation whatsoever. Take it off. Now, this is my own personal experience. I have heard horror stories, and actually from a nurse advisor when I was going through breast cancer myself. She told me how fortunate I was to have the man that I have, that many men can't take it and they leave.
Oh,
gosh.
They leave their women, they leave their wives because they just can't handle their trauma.
Oh my God.
Right. They make it.
You know, that, in my personal opinion, seemed very superficial. My own husband, when I told him of my diagnosis, he said, I don't care as long as you're all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big kudos to your hub, who I happen to know, and well done him.
Yes.
So they say a guy is a breast man or a leg man or a butt man. What do you ladies think makes a man one or the other? And now, real quick, Joe, I know your husband, and I would say he's all of the above. Am I right?
It's the whole package.
Okay, there you go. I was right. All right.
And if you'll allow me to digress, yes, my husband said he didn't care. But when I finished the reconstruction, he was very, very grateful.
I recall him being a fan.
Yes,
and
a big fan.
He was kind of keeping us abreast. He was kind of keeping us, posted about the progress. And
I'm quite sure that he was. Yes.
Right. So, well, on a serious note, you were diagnosed with breast cancer a few years ago, and can you just tell us, kind of just walk us through quickly, what that felt like, and just being a nurse, you had a different perspective, but what was that initial journey like?
Well, I'm going to discount the fact that I'm a nurse, because when you're the patient, you're no longer a nurse.
Yeah.
And your perspective changes immensely. It's really easy to be objective when it's not you or a loved one. Mm-hmm. But, there is no such thing as physician heal thyself when you're living it. And I had to come to that realization very quickly because I was involved in orthopedics and trauma through my career. I knew nothing about this kind of a diagnosis or the surgery that was entailed. So that was a big challenge for me in trusting. And I said this many, many times. I had to trust the people who were smarter than me, because I had no idea. I had no clue how this was going to end up.
Right. And were you was it in your family, or was this a huge surprise just out of nowhere?
It was not a surprise. I had over the years a few biopsies. Mm-hmm. One or two of them were like precancerous cells. But that had been over a decade prior to that recent mammogram.
Well, and you said your mom had it.
She did. And, that we have so much technology now. I had genetic testing once I had the diagnosis, not for myself, but I have a granddaughter and I have a son. And men get breast cancer as well. So I did want to see if it was genetic for them. Yeah. And it was not. It was not.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So the statistics on breast cancer now in men and women are now 1 out of 4.
Wow.
When I got my diagnosis 4 years ago, it was 1 out of 8. So it has doubled in the past 4 years.
Oh my goodness! And you were I always think of you as young when you got it, being 60, right, or 59.
By the time I had surgery, I had just turned 60.
Okay.
Yes.
And was it a mammogram that caught it?
It was.
Get your mammograms.
And then, get your mammograms, gals. Get your mammograms. And then just kind of what that was, were you just kind of in shock? Were you just, terribly upset? I'm trying to remember just the initial.
I was frightened. I was frightened.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, I didn't clinically have any of the information that I have now. I did a lot of research. I found the best specialist in my area and educated myself. Again, and we can say my husband's name. He loves notoriety. His name is Richard.
Yes. Let's. Richard has finally appeared on Let's Talk, ladies, which he has
been lobbying,
volunteering for many, many times. There he is.
He's getting a good edit.
I know.
He does love the camera. Well, he doesn't realize he's not on camera, but he does love to.
We'll get him there. We'll get him there. But then, just the journey.
Yeah, we both went to see the specialist on the first visit. Now, mind you, this was during COVID.
Oh, God, that's right.
So they allowed him in for the initial consultation, and that was it. The rest of the visits, I was solo. No one was allowed in.
Awful.
So we went together. We were given different options. Because of the position of the tumor, which was right behind the nipple, they really would have had to take a very large portion of the breast.
To just do the partial.
It really wasn't a good idea to just do the partial. So then I had to decide, well, do I just want one? Do I not want the other? And for this, I'm very grateful that my mother had breast cancer, because I reflected on my father's choice at the time was to just take the one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you have a diagnosis of cancer, insurance and Medicare will pay for bilateral.
Oh, gosh. Okay, because I am hearing about more women just in my circle that I know who have a double mastectomy.
Seriously, if you're going to do one, everyone's decision is different.
You'll never get them to match.
Yeah.
You'll never get them to match. My mom's big thing with only having the unilateral was that she loved to swim, and she could never find a bathing suit to fit.
Oh. Yeah, and that just sucks,
Yeah, so like 5 years in, she went ahead and had a prosthesis placed, but of course, it never matched.
Yeah.
So my thought was I wanted to be uniform,
mm-hmm.
no matter whether I was going to be flat-chested or not. The reconstructive process is not easy.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it doesn't always take. I did happen to have complications, but my decision was I will give it a try. I'll give it a try. And if not, then I'll just accept whatever I have.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So is that multiple surgeries, Joanne?
It was a total of 6 surgeries in 18 months.
Wow.
Goodness. So many. And I just am gonna say you have 2 fabulous breasts. I
don't know if you guys watch Seinfeld, but they are spectacular.
And I remember a dear friend of mine had reconstruction, and she shared with me that her she even let me look and touch, and then she said her boobs were very cold. She goes, they're very cold.
Oh my God.
Do you have that experience? Or
they're always cold.
Oh no,
that's so crazy.
It's after they take all the mammary tissue out, there's just a tiny little flap of skin that they're working with.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so there's not a lot of insulation to that. Yeah.
Right. There's not insulation. There's not a lot of blood flow, which is why
that's what I was going to say,
there can be a lot of complications. So even though they put the implant under the muscle, still there's no fatty tissue.
Oh, right. To keep you warm. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, and
are you things you never know until you've been through it. You would just never know.
I'm so curious.
And believe me, that's not what I was thinking of. I just knew that I had like 50 blouses in my closet, and I wanted them all to fit because they have darts. They're ladies' blouses.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, oh my gosh, the whole new wardrobe. That's what I have to worry about, my wardrobe.
What?
Yeah, they sit differently.
Not dying first.
I know, but I'm going to give you that little bit of indulgence.
So when you have that so when you're talking about the reconstruction, do they kind of say like, "Hey, do you want them to kind of look like they did before, or do you want to go bigger?"
Yeah, did you
go
bigger?
Do you have those conversations?
Did you go bigger?
Yes. They did give me many options.
Do you get to bring in a picture of a celebrity and say, give me Dolly Parton's?
He took photos, and actually my husband did this, which is very sweet as well. The day before the surgery, we took photos of my originals.
Oh, the OGs. So you always have them.
And the reason for that was not just for, memorabilia, but I'm dark skinned and they tattoo the nipples on. So I wanted as close to my natural self as I could get.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
So the reconstructive surgeon, of course, was saying, well, I can get you to a full C, almost a D. I'm 5 foot tall.
Yeah, you're that would be
topple over.
I could just see you coming out and going, voila,
just
hey.
Face planning until you get used to it.
And so I just kept repeating, I just want to look natural. I just want my clothes to fit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And are you happy with them now? Or do you feel happy and comfortable with your breasts?
I'm almost 3 years out from the final surgery, and I'm finally comfortable because my body is different.
Yeah.
It is different. It feels different. They are bigger than the originals, and I'm a belly sleeper. That was something to really get accustomed to.
Yeah, and then just how do you were sharing a little bit with me again when we were having a chat about boobs as we do
with the margarita.
Yeah. But you were saying that do you feel differently about your body now, like that maybe these things are not defining you necessarily, and I don't know if they did when you were younger, but like how are you feeling about just your body image in general as goes to these?
I want to say I'm an advanced soul, but I've actually just had lots of therapy.
Good.
I do. When I got the diagnosis way in the beginning, it's a huge hit to your ego and your body image, and I really had to talk myself off the limb that my breasts do not define who I am, and I had to have a really good talk with myself because it is all about body image and, I'm not going to be beautiful anymore and I won't be attractive. And, everyone's going to be able to tell.
Or what makes you a woman,
And what makes you a woman. And it's not, although men may believe it, I do not believe that my breasts define me. But it was a big emotional adjustment. And again, it was through COVID. I couldn't even get a therapist.
Oh, my goodness.
It's unbelievable.
Speaking of therapists, and even if I found one that would do it remotely, they were slammed. Yeah. Oh, I can give you an appointment in 3 months. Well, 3 months, I'm dead. I need to do this now.
Yeah, exactly.
This is happening. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, I muscled through it. Because what choice did I have?
That's right. And then what did you do? Did you talk to other women who had this experience or friends or?
We were shut down. There were no support groups. It was all the information I got on the internet. There was nothing in person. It was I'll tell you, it was scary. Yeah. It was awful.
Yeah, it is.
It was awful. But
I'm making light of a good outcome. But what would you? Okay, right now, if and this may have happened to you. I don't know because a lot of people love to talk to Jo. We call her Mama Jo down in the Keys. People love to chat with her and get advice. What would you tell specifically a younger woman, like who? Maybe someone in their 30s who's gotten this diagnosis. What would your first thing be to tell them?
You have to play the long game. Mm-hmm. You have to play the long game. And I will tell you, Richard did not agree with my decision to have the bilateral mastectomies. He thought that was a little bit extreme. And maybe it was just because he wanted to salvage whatever. I don't know. I never asked him. Because it really didn't matter. This was totally my decision.
Well, we talked about it before, kind of as though it was all cosmetic with the bilateral, but that's also so that it doesn't recur in the other breast, right? You're thinking.
That's exactly why I did it.
I know. Can you imagine? Can you imagine
going through it with one and then going through it with another,
Could you imagine every year going for a mammogram and waiting for that result? It's absolutely not. And I was a young woman. I was going to live another, say, 20 years. Yeah. I can't worry about this for the next 20 years. I've got living to do.
That's right.
So let's just take care of it now.
That's right. And I have so enjoyed, Joe. You were just handled this with such grace. And then I was lucky enough to be down in the Keys spending time. And I remember when you first came to yoga class for the first time after your reconstruction and teared up a bit, just that you were able to, you were getting your strength back and you were getting yourself back. And you were able to do, body weight exercise and just, you are just in such a good place. It does my heart right to see this.
Well, thank you for making me cry.
Oh, that was my goal.
Yes. To be able to, and that was a big thing because during all of these surgeries and realized they cut your pectoralis muscle, I was not permitted to raise my arms over the height of my elbows. I couldn't even get my coffee cup out of the kitchen cabinet.
You don't realize how much you use those muscles for.
You use it all day long.
Yeah.
So to go to a yoga class and be able to just hold my own body weight with my two arms was like, it felt like such an accomplishment.
It did. I remember, and it was just.
It was. I'm back. That's exactly how it felt.
Amazing.
Like, I'm back.
Well, you're looking good. You're doing great. And I so appreciate you sharing. This is a very personal topic. And, we're being a little silly, but a little serious. But thank you for talking to us. We've actually learned some things and certainly been inspired. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I love you both.
And that's a wrap for this episode of Let's Talk, Ladies, Conversations Across Generations. We'd love to hear from you. If you liked this episode, please subscribe to the show on Apple or Spotify and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. You can also send us an email at comments@lets-talkladies.org or leave us a message at 629-888-3542. We'll talk again soon on LTL.